No, the headlights were bigger and rounder.
Gwyneth Paltrow, Dharma, and Zena on Entertainment Tonight.
New health concerns and questions tonight for millions of Americans. Was there something dangerous in the polio vaccine you got as a child in the 1950s? Is there something dangerous in the produce you feed your child in the 1990s? A buildup of U.S. and allied forces in Europe? Are U.S. missiles and troops going into Kosovo? And could this happen to you? These men had their 401k retirement savings stolen by someone they never suspected.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. There's news tonight about possible health risks from two unexpected fronts. The first involves the effects later in life of one of the breakthrough medicines of the century, the polio vaccine millions of baby boomers got as children. The other involves the fruits and vegetables you feed your children. First, the polio vaccine story. CBS's John Roberts has the fears and the facts.
The weekend headlines from England raised fears across America today that the Salk polio vaccine from the 50s and 60s may be causing cancer.
Please do not be alarmed.
But Dr. Janet Butel, who wrote the scientific article that prompted those headlines, came out today to say they were not accurate.
It's unnecessarily alarming, and I think that it's misinterpreting the data as is currently available.
What Dr. Butel did find was that genetic material from a monkey virus called SV40 had been discovered in certain rare types of human cancer and raised the possibility they were causing it. That same virus had contaminated some batches of the injected polio vaccine given to between 10 and 30 million Americans before it was pulled from the market in 1961. But Butel urged the public not to draw any conclusions that the vaccine was putting people at any greater risk of cancer.
But there is no data that provides a direct link between the virus that's being found in cancer today with anything related to the polio vaccine.
She did suggest, however, that a striking increase in a certain type of lung cancer called mesothelioma since 1960 was suspicious and warranted more study, especially since evidence of the monkey virus was found in some tumors. Other doctors say they'd look to other risk factors before SV40.
We know that mesotheliomas are associated with smoking and asbestos, things that happened during the war and right after the war associated with this very rare tumor.
The National Cancer Institute has been tracking this issue for more than 40 years. It has found no increase in cancer rates among people who received the polio vaccine. It's hoped that an international study now ongoing will once and for all answer the question as to whether SV40, which can cause tumors in animals, does the same thing in humans. Dan?
John Roberts, thanks. Now about fruits, vegetables, and the health impact on your growing children. A study out today says the produce so important to health and nutrition may in some cases also pose a pesticide residue risk for children. CBS's Jacqueline Adams has the well-balanced food facts for you.
To stay healthy, Americans are supposed to eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. But the next issue of Consumer Reports is warning that even 1 serving of some produce can endanger children if it's laden with high levels of pesticide residue.
Children are not just little adults when it comes to eating because they're smaller, can eat the same amount of food and get per pound of body weight a much higher dose of pesticides.
All the pesticide levels fell within legal limits, but Consumer Reports analysts computed what they deemed unsafe toxicity scores for apples, grapes, green beans, peaches, pears, spinach, and winter squash. 2 out of 5 children who eat a U.S.-grown peach, they say, will get too much of the pesticide methylparathion.
It might affect puberty, it might affect fertility, it might affect any of a number of factors that are regulated by the body's hormonal system.
Dr. Gross today coupled his study with a letter to the Environmental Protection Agency asking that certain pesticides be banned or restricted. The EPA is currently weighing the pesticide risk to children, but insists that America's food supply is still the safest in the world. Some food analysts warn that children face an even greater danger in snacking on high-fat, highly sugared food.
And if somebody reads this and they get concerned and they go to other foods and ignore fruits and vegetables in their diet, I think that is a real risk.
Both the EPA and Consumer Report say parents need not worry. Careful washing and peeling of fruit can all but eliminate the pesticide risk, as can eating canned or organic fruit. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, New York.
And then there's the health risk posed by automobile airbags. In Pennsylvania today, a remarkable jury decision in a class action lawsuit involving a woman who got a hand burn from an airbag during an accident. The jury awarded $58.5 million to thousands of Pennsylvanians who had Chrysler cars with similar airbags, whether they were hurt or not. Automaker Daimler Chrysler says it will appeal the award. The company also says the airbag, after all, did save the woman's life. In Jasper, Texas today, the trial jury considering the hate crime killing of a black man was confronted with a silent witness on wheels and a chain of evidence. CBS's Bob McNamara is covering the trial.
In a dramatic courtroom moment, prosecutors displayed the 24-foot-long chain they said was used to lash James Byrd Jr. to the back of a truck and drag him to his death. Today, too, the truck was a star witness. The pickup owned by one of the accused killers and used to drag Byrd that night last June. As defendant John William King listened, an FBI agent said on the truck's tires, the steel chassis, and tailpipe, traces of human tissue and blood were found. More evidence linking King and the truck to the murder of James Byrd last June. There was also testimony from William Hoover, an ex-convict who did time with King. Hoover saying in prison, King talked of kidnapping a black man and killing him as part of a gang initiation rite. Hoover was a reluctant witness and refused to discuss his testimony later. Each day now, James Byrd Sr. comes to the courthouse to hear the testimony against the man accused of killing his son.
King, do you believe what they've said about your son?
And each day, too, Ronald King struggles to court to sit near the son he adopted as a baby, clinging to the faint hope his boy's life will be spared.
I truly don't know how he's going to react in the end, however they find him. I think that's when he's going to need a great deal of support.
To James Byrd's family, each day at court is carried in the dignity of a family's deepest loss.
It's like a wound that's very deep, and sometimes it takes a while for those wounds to heal. But you have to start the process.
It is a story of a vicious crime of hate, and two broken-hearted families, each having to pay a heavy price. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Jasper, Texas.
Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, our special series, Guarding Your Money. Will your 401k be there when you retire? Boris Yeltsin, President Clinton, and a warning, or was it? And a superpower makes a major arms deal.
A three-hit complete game. Long live the Queen!
Elizabeth is the year's most breathtaking film.
May I join you, my lady?
If it please you, sir.
Nominated for 7 Academy Awards.
You stand, madame.
You are wearing a dress, Your Grace.
Including Best Actress Kate Blanchett.
Do not presume to know the secrets of my heart.
And Best Picture of the Year. Elizabeth, rated R. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
A proper gentleman eats one cookie at a time.
But these aren't cookies. They're Newtons.
Oh, we can't be proper all the time, now can we?
A cookie is just a cookie, but Newtons are fruit and cake. And now think Newtons are better than ever. Because they're moister than ever.
When Diane initially came into the office, her time horizon for investing her money was rather short-term. It was right after college. I was going to turn over the money pretty quickly to pay for graduate school. Since then, her objective has changed. I've always had this kind of long-term goal in mind, which is starting my own business. But that means actually invest more aggressively because her time horizon had lengthened. She knows herself. She knows her goals. She knows her tolerance for risk. She's learned about the tools that Schwab has to assist her in meeting those goals.
The United States is building up its air power in Europe tonight with the deadline less than 48 hours away for a new peace arrangement or not on Kosovo. Once again, the U.S. and its allies are trying to force concessions from Serbia's hardline leader, Slobodan Milosevic. They want him to accept a self-rule plan for Kosovo and a NATO peacekeeping force in the Serbian province where 90% of the people are ethnic Albanians. CBS's David Martin has the latest from the Defense Department.
In a few more days, F-117 stealth fighters will be in Italy, and B-52 bombers armed with cruise missiles will be positioned in England, poised to strike targets in Serbia. The U.S. wants Serb President Milosevic to think hard about what will happen if he refuses to sign a peace agreement. Secretary of State Albright spoke with Milosevic by phone this morning.
He should understand that if airstrikes occur, he will be hit hard and he will be deprived of the things that he values.
In theory, airstrikes could begin with cruise missiles launched from U.S. Navy ships anytime after the noon Saturday deadline for an agreement expires. But as a practical matter, Western diplomats and international observers in Serbia and Kosovo will have to be given time to get out of harm's way.
If the current stalemate continues, the mission will have to be evacuated in advance of NATO airstrikes.
In the event the stalemate breaks and there is an agreement, the lead elements of a NATO peacekeeping force, these are British tanks, are already on the move toward Kosovo. 2,200 U.S. Marines are in the Aegean Sea waiting for orders to offload at a Greek port and begin the overland trek to Kosovo, where they will be responsible for policing the eastern part of the province.
The assumption is Milosevic will decide he'd rather live with NATO troops than with NATO bombs and grudgingly agree to a deal. But either way, the U.S. military is about to be committed to action in Kosovo. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
Boris Yeltsin set off a diplomatic flap today with a bit of Cold War bluster. Asked about Kosovo, he said he had told President Clinton Russia will not stand for NATO military action against Serbia, though Yeltsin didn't say how he would prevent it. Yeltsin said he talked with President Clinton by phone yesterday. But White House spokesman denied this, and the Kremlin later admitted there was no such call.
Nobody does it like you.
Hoover Wind Tunnel versus bagless brands. Guess you don't need a bag if you don't pick up much dirt.
Nobody
Wind Tunnel by Hoover.
does it like you.
Courage, something shared by countless Americans. Those who risked their lives. Those who battled serious illness. When I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, I was primarily concerned with ridding myself of the cancer. But secondly, I was concerned about possible post-operative side effects like erectile dysfunction, ED, often called impotence. You know, it's a little embarrassing to talk about ED, but it's so important to millions of men and their partners that I decided to talk about it publicly. And after all, it can be associated with many conditions, including prostate surgery, high blood pressure, diabetes, or even smoking. And the point I want to make is there are many treatments available for ED, so my advice is get a medical checkup. It's the best way to get educated about ED and what can be done to treat it. It may take a little courage, but I've always found that everything worthwhile does.
We all have everyday needs. That's why One-A-Day has specialized blends of herbs, vitamins, and minerals for things like energy or less tension. Special formulas that are just what you need to feel your best.
A controversy at a local high school over the play Jesus Christ Superstar. And an inmate serving a life sentence is asked to be released. Find out why on Point 6 News at 6.
President Clinton's post-impeachment revival and redemption tour took him on the road to New Hampshire today, and especially on the campaign trail for Democrats, hoping to retake control of Congress in election year 2000. CBS News White House correspondent Scott Pelley is traveling with the president.
For the first time since his acquittal, the president met the people face to face. In New Hampshire, the reaction was divided. The conservative local paper called him a disgrace. But Mr. Clinton wouldn't have started this campaign anywhere else. It was New Hampshire that resurrected him once before.
I would very much like to see the spirit in the country and in Washington, D.C. that I felt here in New Hampshire so many years ago when I first came here.
It was 7 years ago this very day that New Hampshire saved the Clinton campaign.
At least I proved one thing. I can take a punch.
The punch then was a series of scandals, but he came in second and christened himself the comeback kid.
What's beginning now in New Hampshire is his last campaign, an effort to repay the party that stood beside him. You'll find Mr. Clinton increasingly on the road, promoting candidates and, above all, raising money. He has emerged perhaps as a stronger campaigner than he has ever been, leaving many Republicans amazed.
He always wins. He's the best politician I've ever seen, probably the best politician in American history.
New Hampshire Senator Robert Smith is running for president. He is one conservative Republican who is dismayed that the popularity of Democratic issues has risen with the president's scandal.
Social Security, Patients' Bill of Rights, build more schools, hire more teachers. How do the Republicans catch up to this?
You know, the Republican Party has got to stand up for the principles that it believes in and let the chips fall. Let the voters be the judge. Don't worry about polling and consulting and determining how we got to be more like the Democrats in order to win elections.
Mr. Clinton believes elections may help him rewrite history. For the party, this is a 2-year campaign to win the House and the White House. For the president, it is one last shot at a final comeback. Scott Pelley, CBS News, with the president in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Your federal income tax forms are getting more and more complicated. For an average taxpayer who itemizes deductions and has some investment income, the IRS now estimates it will take more than 22 hours to fill out the return. That's a full 3 hours longer than last year. In a moment, news about the income many Americans put away for retirement. Ray Brady reports how some people lost their entire 401k savings when the CBS Evening News rolls on.
Does your older dog seem confused? Doesn't recognize you? Or turns away when you pet him? It could be due to a medical condition called cognitive dysfunction. So if your older dog loses interest in your family and no longer acts like he used to, ask your veterinarian if Anapril can help. Side effects may include vomiting, diarrhea, or behavior changes. Consult your veterinarian before using with other medications or tick collars.
The nation's top critics are calling Life is Beautiful a masterpiece, an astonishingly moving and wondrous film, now nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of the Year. Life is Beautiful, rated PG-13, now playing.
At Boston Market, you can build your own meal for a price you'll love, such as a whole chicken for just $5.99. Add any 3 orders of our small classic sides, just 99 cents each. All this for less than $9. So take home Boston Market tonight.
The party's in there, so why am I out here? Gas. Again.
Maximum Strength Phazine has 33% more medicine doctors recommend.
One little pill, and I'm back.
Serious medicine for serious gas. Phazine.
We ease life's pressures. We help bring people back to life. We take care of best friends. We're the people of Pfizer. We develop medicines that make the world a better place. We spend over $2 billion a year on research. That's why we believe we'll introduce more new medicines for more diseases than anyone else. We're not just looking for cures. We're going to find them. Pfizer. Life is our life's work.
Everyone's talking about my new cookies.
I don't know how you made them better, but you did. These new cookies rock.
Pillsbury cookies, hot and fresh in 15 minutes.
Would you like one?
Her daughter's murder went unsolved for 6 years. When everyone else gave up, this detective got started. Now he's about to catch Jennifer's killer. 48 hours tonight.
Ever wonder about the money you put into a 401k plan at work? How safe it is, and will it be there when you retire? In tonight's Eye on America, you'll see why it's so important to ask those questions. CBS's Ray Brady shows you what can happen when you put money into a 401k and blind trust in an employer in Part 2 of our series, Guarding Your Money.
I still don't know whether it has to be a box.
These are worried men. They invested their money in a 401k, only to find out it had been ripped off. Gone, every penny of it. Mike Campus.
Well, how would you feel if you worked 20 years for somebody and you had nothing to show for it?
Fred Immel.
I'm not sure that I really like 401k programs.
These 7 men were the sales force in a small California tractor dealership owned by Mike Kovac. Their boss, their friend, and the man court papers charge again and again took funds from their 401k plan, till all $98,581 of it was gone. Tim McMillan.
If the man had come at us with a gun and robbed us, we'd have been able to take a tax deduction. We can't even do that.
Unlike traditional pension plans, there's no insurance against fraud on 401ks. So your 401k investment is protected primarily by the Labor Department, which both monitors the plans and also attempts to recover any money stolen from them. But since 1995, the Labor Department has investigated more than 3,700 companies. And as its own figures show, it's collected money on some 1,100 cases. Only a third of those it looked into. Secretary of Labor, Alexis Herman.
In those cases, we actually recovered 90% of the funds, which amounted to about $53 million for workers, and it covered about 40,000 workers.
That may sound impressive, but as the tractor salesman found, there's a loophole in the law. 401ks in companies with fewer than 100 workers are exempt from any audit for the federal government. That means that nearly 4 in every 10 American workers has a 401k that's basically unprotected.
Approximately 70% of the complaints that we get, in fact, come from workers in small businesses. So while we want to be sensitive to additional burdens on small business, we think that we do need to take further action to strengthen plans for workers who are in small businesses.
Get all of this in writing.
The Labor Department does run a hotline for concerned workers, a kind of early warning system on troubled plans. Even so, the tractor salesmen fear they won't see much of the money allegedly taken by their boss.
The only way we're going to get the money back is if there's retribution from him, and the other satisfaction would be to see him in jail.
Well, I'm going to have to work the rest of my life. I mean, you never can make it up.
Neither can 68-year-old Robert Lawless, the only one of the tractor salesmen who's retired. Living in a mobile home, he plays solitaire by day and watches TV at night, all the while agonizing over the loss of his 401k money.
You know, if I had some money like that, I could travel a little bit, take some trips, and go back east, see my family. And the security you have in the bank is something, you know, you never know how your health's going to go. And money like that would come in handy.
A lament that may be echoed by other workers, unaware that the money in their 401k may well be left unguarded. In Washington, I'm Ray Brady for Eye on America.
On CBS's Market Watch, a rare burst of inflation. The government says wholesale prices went up 0.5% in January. Food and energy led the way. Leave them out, though, and wholesale prices overall actually fell a bit. Mortgage interest rates are up for the third straight week, but still averaging below 7% for a 30-year fixed.
Pizza Hut dared anyone to find a better pizza.
Oh, really?
Papa John took the challenge and won in independent taste tests, one big time. That's not surprising. After all, we were named Best Pizza Chain 2 years in a row.
Anybody can claim to make a better pizza, but it's you, the consumer, who've decided. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Try our Papa's Choice, a large pizza with your choice of up to 5 toppings for just $10.99.
You see a secure site. At Sprint, that's how we see the internet. After all, a corporate secret isn't a secret if everybody can access it. That's why Sprint's advanced internet services have the secure links you need. Fact is, nobody offers more levels of managed security than Sprint. That way, your private information can stay private until you're ready to share it with the world. Because business runs on data, and data runs on Sprint.
Intelligent life in auto insurance. Be progressive and remember.
Buckle up.
If they insist on making contact, Buzz, I hope they have insurance.
How do you improve on perfection? That's the question for the New York Yankees as they open baseball spring training. Last year, they won more games than any team in baseball history, including a perfect game by pitcher David Wells. So today, the Yanks traded the left-hander Wells and two other players to the woebegone Toronto Blue Jays for the game's premier pitcher, right-hander Roger Clemens. This blockbuster trade is the talk of the sports world tonight. And now about the big surprise trade today in postage stamps. What's missing from this picture and why? He was one of our most noted modern artists, a painter honored posthumously with a stamp today, yet a key feature of his image has gone up in smoke. CBS's Elizabeth Caledon has the facts. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Like his vast abstract canvases, Jackson Pollock was larger than life. A brilliant but rough-edged man, a hard-drinking chain smoker, rarely seen without a cigarette dangling from his lips. But today, with much fanfare, the federal government will help Jackson Pollock kick the habit, unveiling a new 33-cent stamp based on a famous photograph of the artist without his trademark cigarette.
The Postal Service says it's a design issue. They wanted a stamp of Pollock the artist, not Pollock the smoker. But cultural historians are outraged, saying the political incorrectness of smoking today is leading us to snuff out our own past.
The communists used to airbrush inconvenient persons from photographs. Americans are airbrushing the signs of inconvenient sins. I think it's a joke.
It's not the first time the post office has had a no-smoking policy. Blues guitarist Robert Johnson was captured smoke-free in 1994, and a stamp of legendary journalist and chain smoker Edward R. Murrow shows no cigarette.
This may be the last PC of the 90s, philatelical correctness.
For author Christopher Buckley, it's a sad statement that the government doesn't trust us with the truth.
Essentially what you're doing is tampering with the cultural DNA.
Imagine, Buckley says, the next cigarette purge. Casablanca just wouldn't be Casablanca. Seductive scenes from classic movies would vanish like, well, smoke.
It's as if we think we're going to go to heaven if we use enough Airwick.
It's true teen smoking is on the rise, but critics say altering the image of a postage stamp isn't likely to change that. It's just a smokescreen, they say, blocking the view of who we really are. Elizabeth Caledon, CBS News, New York.
And that's part of our world tonight. I'll be back later here on CBS with 48 Hours. Troy Roberts has a preview.
A brutal murder in this forest.
I was 9 when she died.
Unsolved for 21 years.
We don't know really what happened to Ruth.
Now, this dedicated cop is about to crack the case. Later on 48 Hours.
Later is 10 o'clock, 9 Central Time here on CBS. If you liked 60 Minutes 2 last night, you'll like 48 Hours tonight. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. Hope to see you again soon on 48 Hours. Till then, have a good evening.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the Internet and on America Online at keyword CBS News.
You rely on us to get the story.